Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 84 in my long-running Anno 1800 series. Now, before we get into the gameplay, I've just got a little bit of housekeeping to address right here at the beginning of the episode, and that is the fact that I haven't actually uploaded to this channel in about a month. And that's because behind the scenes I've been kind of working on various things, working on a big rebrand overhaul, and also just figuring out what I'm going to be doing with my life. Kind of took a little break, wanted to reassess certain things, and I just made the tough decision to basically put my secondary channel on hold, which is the Republic of Play channel. That's where I did reviews, that's where I started out 5 years ago, going full-time, and working on that for a very long time, building it up to over 100,000 subscribers. I'm really happy with everything I did on that channel, but it just wasn't ever really sustainable. I ended up doing guides and other videos and eventually Let's Plays on that channel just so I could keep the reviews going, because reviews of strategy games especially are kind of done, you know, several days apart. They take a very long time. They're long-form games, take a long time to understand, communicate that back to people, and then you're competing with people that are dedicated to those games, like Paradox channels and Total War channels or whatever it might be. Long story short, I made that tough decision to just go, that's it, 5 years, putting them on hold indefinitely, because this channel is just so successful by comparison. It is just impossible to ignore. Because like I said, I put about 80% of my time into the review channel and about 20% of my time into this one. And the results are kind of like the inverse of that. This channel is like 80% of the revenue, effectively, you know, and the growth and everything, really, compared to the review channel. So the writing was on the wall for quite a while, but I just couldn't face up to it. I wanted to just see if I could just keep going with the reviews. But I gotta be honest, I started kind of falling out of love with them anyway, and I've really fallen in love with this channel because I love playing the games that I choose. The ones that I choose are typically my favorite games, and the response has been just so positive, and I've always felt like I'm letting people down when I don't hit a consistent schedule. And I often say, like, next week I'll have like blah blah blah, and I just miss them because I'm working on some review. Anyways, I'm going all in on this channel. What Darren Plays is the name of the rebrand. That's where you can find me on Twitter. That's what my Twitch channel is now, What Darren Plays. And Twitch is going to be live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and also Sundays I'll be doing multiplayer.
Says money matters dominate middle age.
Arthur, I'm giving my speech. Give me a break, man. Anyways, so if you want to follow me over on Twitch for more random type of games, I cover strategy games there, city builders, and other things too. Or whatever like is the latest kind of stuff coming out, and then I can kind of decide what would be good for series going forward. But yeah, so that's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays over on twitch.tv/whatdarrenplays. Obviously now this YouTube channel is What Darren Plays, so that's youtube.com/whatdarrenplays if you ever need to find it again. But make sure you just subscribe. I never say it enough. I'm not really a marketing guy, but I'm going to try to be a little bit better with that, because there are a lot of people that do watch this channel quite regularly, but they don't subscribe. So please do subscribe. It does help with basically just visibility on YouTube, so I would appreciate it if people did, if you don't mind. Anyways, that's kind of it, so let's just get into the gameplay. I think I've covered pretty much everything, so basically, long story short, channel rebrand. What Darren Plays is my Twitter, my YouTube, and my Twitch. The review channel, that's postponed indefinitely, effectively. I'm not doing any more content there. I don't really plan to. Who knows, maybe in the far-flung future I'll go back to it or something, but I've kind of burnt out on my desire to do reviews. I'm much more enjoying the playthroughs, and I'm much more enjoying Twitch, so that's where I'm just going to be focusing my energy and my time from now on, and that means I should get to the point where I have daily videos in this channel. I'm at least hoping to. Now, it's not going to be daily Anno videos. I am planning on introducing other series as well, but always sticking with this game. I absolutely love it, as long as it's getting new content anyway, and then I'm sure when the next Anno installment gets announced or comes out or whatever, I'll be all over it. So that will always be a core staple of this channel, as long as the games are good anyway. So yeah, the other series that I'm planning on doing is actually Satisfactory and Crusader Kings 3. And some people have been watching my project Zomboid, and I am going to try and continue that, but it's really difficult to continue that one, just for reasons I don't want to bore you with. Because there's a lot more scripting, editing, and things like that going on in it. So it's just a lot more effort, and then basically my computer died while I was doing it, and that's why it got put on hold in the first place, so it's hard to kind of continue it. Anyways, that's everything. Thanks for listening just here at the beginning of the episode. So let's get back to Anno 1800 proper. So basically, the situation is that I've been for the longest time always trying to stabilize my population, and that seems to have happened. I've been running it in the background, and I don't think this number has fluctuated at all, but you can see my income does a little bit. So tourists are still struggling, I think, for their souvenirs. Now, at the end of the last episode, which was over a month ago, I'm pretty sure I did set up a souvenir route. So let's check it out. So we make them over in Cape Trelawney on Crown Farms, and then we bring it over to the old world. So let's just check that that ship is en route right now, somewhere in there. Can't quite see it. So let's just have a look and make sure everything's going okay here. We put down an extra factory, and they should be working at full capacity. We've got the cotton, we have glass. Glass maybe might run out. Actually, it looks like it gets a little bit low. And I think glass comes in through Docklands as well, doesn't it? It does not. Okay. Well, looks like we found our chink in the armor, as it were, our problem. Alright, so let's go all islands. Let's just go with intermediate and see where glass is. So glass has a huge demand. So I'm pretty sure on Lusk we must pull it in there. I vaguely remember it comes in through a Docklands, definitely somewhere. By the way, as of recording, I'm just a few days away from the next cosmetic pack coming out for this game, which is like an industries focused pack, which should be fun. Should be able to like make this island look... It's almost like I knew that was going to happen, but I swear I didn't. But yeah, we can make this island look, you know, on all these patches that aren't filled, we can put down all that piping, the train stations and stuff. This is going to look really good on this island. And we can do a big overhaul here. Now that the production chains are largely set, we can make it visually quite appealing, hopefully. Alright, so, let's see. Glass. There it is. 3,000 glass for 169 elevators. Pretty damn good. Let's just check how has it been doing, actually. So yeah, we can't even... So it's basically we're pulling in about 1,300. And we seem to have totally enough elevators to kind of deal with that. So, let's check the glass route and see, does it go to Cape... Oh, here's the problem. Cape to the old world. Glass export. There's nothing on it. So get rid of that. So Lusk, Old World, and import. So that seems to be the problem. It seems like, maybe I could be wrong, but it seems like nothing is actually... glass isn't actually flowing here, and maybe we run out. I know that we use it, or make it as well, in various places here. So let's just check on this island by itself. How is glass? So it's just slightly under what it needs to be. We could just tweak that a little bit by increasing the productivity here. I'd say 10% would even be enough. And I'm sure the sand is going to be totally fine. So if we check that now, there we go. That's more than we need. So yeah, let's be kind to these guys and say, look, we'll just get it to the right amount. It doesn't have to be over that. So 7% maybe. Yeah, 37. So there we go. So with that, glass should stay at least consistent here. We've got camphor wax and we've got cotton, so these things are all going to be consistent. So if I just check then against the only thing that takes in souvenirs is going to be the Island of Swords. Go to consumer goods, we scroll down, we have a look for souvenirs. Well, there's your problem. We make 24, but we consume 27. Okay. Don't remember what past Darren was thinking, but do we make any here, I wonder? We do. We make 7. So we'll go all islands, consumer goods. 31 to 27. So way more than enough. Way more than enough. So what's the situation with the routes then? So souvenirs go from Cape to the old world on this ship. They're loaded up to the max at the moment. Loaded up totally. Now they're told to throw that overboard. Hey, yeah, there's actually plenty down here. There's 977, so we are piling them up. It seems like throwing them overboard is probably not a good idea, but anyway, we'll get to that some other point. It seems like this ship, then, they're just not bringing enough fast enough then up. The demand, we're carrying 100 up. And how much do we have? Yeah, it looks like the demands are just really fast. Faster than the capability of 2 ships bringing them up here. So what I might do is, we'll just set a new route. And it'll only do this for now. We'll put 150 on it, and that should be enough. So we'll go from there to here. And we'll say we need 150 souvenirs. So we might be able to combine it with something else at some point. And just any available ship that can do that. And we'll just call this the souvenir, what would it be? Delivery, I guess? I'll just say that's going to stay in the old world. And that means we can get rid of... So that's fine. We can get rid of souvenirs off this. Just here really quickly. We'll just go to these ships and make sure that they drop that stuff off. So I'll just speed it up. We'll drop it off manually and then let the other ship catch up and do its thing. So this means we've got room for other things here if we need to. If we ever need to bring more telephones or whatever, we could add something to this route. Just means that these ships are going to have slight empty space on them. So yeah, so that's good. That should stabilize that, I think. And that might be kind of it. I feel like that was one of the only things I saw fluctuating. Although I did see something to do with rum was having an issue. But we'll have to just keep an eye on it. Now the goal was to be able to bring this all the way up and leave it at the max. That's like one of my last goals. And then, I guess, to add a few extra houses in here and see how we can cope with the demand. And that'll be pretty much it. You know, I've kind of done all the goals I wanted to. We reached max income. We have over 100,000 population. I know some people push it to millions. I ain't ever going to do that. 100,000 is more than enough for me. And then when the DLCs come out for the New World, we can kind of experiment and see what we can do over there. But obviously, filling up this island and making it as nice as possible would be another part of the goal there. So yeah, so let's just start throttling this up. That's going to raise our population, thus raising the demand for a few things too. So let's go to 4,600 and speed time up. So our population should rise now to about 101,000, I guess, something like that. Maybe even more. We're adding that 10% on the various houses just even out here, up to 33. Yes, that's climbing already, so we'll see how that does. So what's been happening is, previously in the last episode, we were running out of things like jewelry or souvenirs that would make them unhappy, and then their numbers would fall, and then it would just cascade down because there wasn't enough to work this building. So the range would just collapse, and then the whole, everything would just fall apart. But it looks good to me right now. Yep, as long as it's gaining. Well, while it's doing that in the background, I've also done a little bit of a time-lapse on this island down here, the island of Skerries. So we'll just take a really quick look at that right now. Alrighty, so having not played the game in about a month, when I came back to it, I noticed that the island of Skerries just had like 6 or 7 new vineyards all plopped down in a line, because I was just leaving it there temporarily before I came back to it to do something with it, and it just clicked with me when I was looking at it. I was like, oh, we have the seasonal decorations pack, where a bunch of ornaments are themed to do with wine. Considering this is a massive export of this island, it makes a lot of sense, I think, to have this area here at the back of the church, a sort of a festive wine tasting sort of celebration area. So we've got like a wine storehouse, wine merchants, tables and chairs and stuff for people to drink the wine and do whatever else, I guess. But it just seems to make a lot of sense to put it next to the vineyard. So I kind of did that area first, just at the back of the church really quickly. And we'll have a look at it just after this time-lapse as well, a bit more in detail. But then at the back of it, I was like, okay, now I can line up the various vineyards to actually push up against it and look quite nice. I've actually just thought about it now. Might be nice if I could have actually... no, I think I'm pretty happy with it. If I could have got one of the vineyards right there, embedded in the sort of drinking area as well. But I've got this one here that's really close to the church, so I think that's good enough, actually. I was trying to think, like, could I push one right up to the green? Maybe, but you would have had to have a road feed in there, and they have tractors, so it's a bit too industrialized, I think. Anyways, so yeah, so basically just kind of messing around with those ornaments, decided to make that little area at the back, and I'll go back to it now in a sec and just do a little bit more with it. I was sort of just planning out where the actual vineyards are going to go, and I wanted to keep the dirt road aesthetic. It just looks better, I think, so that means, you know, you got to throw down a few extra warehouses just to catch everything up. Luckily, the fuel can still make it to the actual tractor barns and everything and still get the 300% productivity bonus. So here I was just looking for, these tables are really nice, and they actually have 2 different variants built into the same ornament. One's a table and one's like something completely different. It's a more fancy table, I guess, for less people. I thought it was going to be a corner table, so I was hoping to actually wrap them around and then feed that pathway up and stuff, but unfortunately they are separated. Anyways, over here I've got a little cider stall then at the back of the pub, which we'll showcase in a minute why I put that there. And that's basically it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, the new and improved island of Skerries, or at least, yeah, I guess it is improved. It depends how you look at it. I mean, we are just plastering it with farmland all the way across it, and industrializing it too with the tractors and stuff. But I think now with the added ornaments for the seasonal decorations pack, including all the wine-themed ornaments, it looks pretty cool having it next to the vineyards and stuff. It makes a lot of sense. So I love seeing like little festivities going on out here. People dancing around the maypole, trying out the different wines that come from this vineyard, obviously here. And I'd be remiss if we didn't include the cider stall. And you're like, where did they get the cider from? Have you forgotten? We have our lovely little cider orchard all the way up here that we've had for a long time as well, just kind of decorating that area. So I think it's a consistent island, if that makes sense, right? The things that are here are represented with the population. So trying to make as good use of the ornaments as I can. I've got some of the Christmas themed ones there, I guess. Roasted chestnuts, but it's fine. I think it looks nice just outside the church. I thought about adding other wine and cider stuff, but I just thought that looked cool. So I'm happy with it. But yeah, I think it looks really great. Anyway, that's just the island of Scary. So we did add down these various... I mean, it's so funny because we initially started with this island just adding, 3 or 4 vineyards here. And then I was like, oh, now we need more. Now we need even more. Now we need even more. So the demands are just exponentially sort of grown on this island over and over again. And of course, now with fertilizer from the New World, we could, in fact, use... allow myself to introduce myself. We could, in fact, use that fertilizer to... further enhance these farms and actually reduce the space back down if I wanted to. But I'm pretty happy with it kind of covering around the town. I think that looks kind of nice. But we'll see. Who knows? In future, if we need this island for more stuff, we've got a decent amount of workforce still on it and room to expand if we needed to. It's all pretty self-sufficient, I think. They just largely export those grapes. Anyways, I'm rambling on a bit. So, there's ruins in my city. Not anymore, there isn't. And this is... Oh, we're having a bit of a riot. Let's just pop this down. We definitely have to come back to Crown Farms and fix this place up. Again, with the industrial ornaments that are coming. Probably in the next episode, I should have them. I can't wait to start outlining, or laying out all this kind of stuff and redoing this area. That's going to be really cool. And this Docklands has been a travesty for, 30 episodes or something, so we'll have to fix that. So I haven't forgotten. I mean, because this part of the island still looks great, in my opinion. So I'll have to fix that. We do have a little gas shortage from time to time here, though. And then they run out, and the population does go. So I guess that's something I gotta work on. God damn it. And that's, you know what that means. The Arctic. So the only way we'd ever do that is if we took maybe this island. This one's just been unsettled. Arthur has just never bothered with it. So we could take this island, try to figure out sustaining it to get the gas supply working correctly. Or I could redevelop... take the easy route, redevelop Crown Falls, not to use gas and to use oil instead, and feed a train line in, which might be the way I go, because Arctic is just so difficult, but maybe. Can we even get to all these houses with this? We actually can't. Some of these don't even have roads. It's kind of interesting. Never really thought about that. Whatever, it's just to make wood anyway, it's fine. Okay, so... We've solved a lot already. Pretty simple as well. Just a couple little hitches here and there, but most things are pretty good now. Glass should be gaining just slowly. That's the souvenirs done. If we hop back to the old world now, we should be able to see, yeah, there we go. Souvenirs are sort of building up. And we've raised this up and it's totally doing fine. So we can just continue to raise that even further. We can now push it all the way. And I'm hoping... We just had a newspaper, by the way, in between, during the time-lapse, I guess. And the newspaper basically gave us a 10% debuff to consumption on one island, or at least globally, actually, because of the island of Rush has a shortage of sewing machines. So that's something I can try to figure out as well. So this is the island of Rush. Of course, I want to redo this place as well. We've just got the estates here. And I like the idea of the estates. We could probably make it look nicer. Effectively, this side of the island isn't done. About there, but this side of the island is, and it actually, I think anyway, allow myself to pat myself on the back here, I think it looks great over on this side. Just noticing actually there's missing houses here. I don't know why. Must have gotten rid of them for some reason. Maybe we had a shortage of fish or something. Well, anyway, they're back. So they've added in that previous update the tree painting tool to allow you to paint these orchards wherever you want, regardless if there is one or not. So with that, I could probably make a bit more of an enclosed area. If you remember, we have this lovely little park here that kind of leads into the orchards. Now we can make that a bit more organic with a trail that goes through it or something that could look quite cool, I think. So that's going to be another overhaul we got to work on at some point. But for the rest of this episode, I'm really just focusing on keeping things as consistent as possible. And then we're going to make it not consistent once we add a few extra investor houses out here. pretty soon as well. And that's going to give us a little bit of extra influence, and we can add in things like this, the extra town hall. So I'm thinking somewhere around here is where we draw the line for the artisan village on that cliff. Probably somewhere like there. And then this area could be the rest of the investor houses. Something else I really want to use that I thought looked great is the ice rink. So that could be cool as a sort of a centerpiece in here somewhere. And maybe some ornaments around it. So again, maybe I should wait for the other ornament packs. I don't know. I know it is like peak summer right now, but I still think this would just be cool to have. Before you know it, it's going to be Christmas. Or at least winter. So yeah, having like an ice rink in there and a bunch of buildings going around it, I think could look quite nice. This area does need a little bit of a redevelopment. You know, this wasn't ever really finished. The attractiveness is actually great here, even without running the World's Fair, so that's totally fine. But I said it before that these need to be improved. The ornaments are going around this different area, just to make the town look a bit more alive. And I think we could squeeze more out of the population with the various restaurants we have. So we'll have to look into that. Alright, so it seems like everything's fine. Everyone's grown to their respective size. This is maxed out. It's holding.
The trundling movement
500 out of 500. Everything seems to be, the demands are met, you know? Seems good. Seems a little too good. And of course, I don't even know what we're going to do out here. Could move the zoo over there or something in the future. So let me just check these various places. Are they all maxed out? I think they should be.
The mind dizzies with
What about the one down this way?
and possibilities.
No. Yeah, maybe I'll get rid of this hotel. I mean, we need it for the population, but it could go somewhere else perhaps. Because it doesn't have access to a cafe or a restaurant, and it's a little too far from a variety theater. Where is the variety theater here? I don't even see it. I guess it's probably going through the bus stop, actually. Is that what's happening? Yeah, there's no variety theater here. They're obviously getting a bus to go to it. Yeah, as nice as the idea is having a hotel here, I think maybe we'll just clear it and leave the space for the museum. And this sort of shopping arcade district around here might make a bit more sense. This is the kind of thing I have to do in between episodes, because I'll do a lot of experimentation and I'll just condense it down to a time lapse. Because you might be thinking, why not do it now? But honestly, I don't know what I want with it yet. So it could take a while to get that right. But yeah, one last overhaul on this side of things and I think we'll be good. Still really happy with everything up here. That's all fine. Yep, so this seems totally good. So sewing machines, I guess we'll work on that. We know that it needs to be done here, and there's docklands that needs to be fixed at some point too. So let's have a look. Well, let me look globally at sewing machines and just see, are we making enough to supply everywhere? I think we are. Yeah, 39 to 35. So that means that if they're running out here, it's just that there's a delivery problem. We're just not delivering it correctly.
Oh, sweet fancy. Bless
Yeah.
you.
Alright, so let's see if sewing machines are ever delivered to this island. So in the old world, there's a sewing machine delivery route with one ship on it that goes around and picks them up and delivers it to every island it can. So it goes to Lusk, it picks them all up, it drops them at Swords, and then it tries to drop them at... So the problem, one problem you'd have here is we should have this being picked up again. And that's probably why this is happening, because we are making enough, but we're not just delivering it properly. So you want to tell it to drop off and then pick it all back up. And the reason you do that is if you set a limit, it'll just drop off enough so that they can sustain themselves, but with the ship can keep going with more. Because with a storage depot like 3,000 in size, it could be ages before that fully fills up, you know? So eventually it will work out, but you want to just mitigate that long wait time, I guess. So something like this I think is better, and we'll just set the limits and see how that works out. I mean, it should be fine if we're overproducing. Eventually, it should all work out. So... in order to make that work then, we'll just go over to Swords, and we'll say, just set some sort of limit on those sewing machines. So the minimum stock, we'll set the minimum stock to, I don't know, 500. You're over that stock now, so and that's a pretty healthy amount to have, I think. So 500 there. The next island over then, this island's a lot smaller. The consumption rate, let's check the consumption rate just out of curiosity, is only 2 tons per minute here, whereas in Swords, it is 20 tons per minute. Wow. Yeah, 500 is probably maybe not even enough. Anyway, so for here then, we'll set it to much less than that. It literally only needs to be, what was it, like 20% of the other number. Something like that. And then this island as well can have a little bit too. It already has a... So it has a cutoff of 250. We'll just make it consistent with this island then. Set to 250. That should balance itself out then. Alrighty. So that should solve that problem. That was just the only issue. It's just that we ran out of sewing machines in that one place. So population will rise a little bit further for the artisans than here. Ah, yeah, and then they'll get their... They don't even access their university right now. Alright. 'Tis a problem indeed. That's interesting actually. Yeah, I might do something where I move this university more like here. And shift the zoo or the botanical garden. Because that's really... Doesn't need to be that far up, I don't think, right? Can we do that now? Why not? Let's just do something like this for a sec and see what that looks like. So we'd have to go in there, but the bus stop is in the way. Now that bus stop is here for what reason? Mostly this, I'm assuming. Let's just move that for a second. Alright, clear this out. Just pop that over there so I can use it again in a second, and we'll get rid of this. Alright, there's the university. A nice big block for it. And we could probably build some sort of wall around it. Because, yeah, we have this little connecting street. It might look a bit weird with that just being right there. I feel like you should have a garden at the front of it. And a sort of a wall going along the side. So you could have something like this. Something like that. And then the sort of gardens like this at the front. Just as an example. I'll probably touch this up later. Kind of a road that goes in. Some trees or whatever. And that's just really the sideline from this area. But this could be an actual greenery for the... yeah, I think I've mentioned this before. It's like the hospital is part of the university in a way. So you could have this kind of thing, and then it's like this is just like a path that goes through, but people can go over to their university gardens or whatever it is. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. So I'd have to open it up further. I destroyed it. Oh well. I was going to say I have to open it up further at the back there. So the Botanical Garden, it doesn't quite make sense, I guess, going through an archway from the hospital into a Botanical Garden. There should be more turned sideways, I think. So yeah, I'll come back to this. You see, this is why it's like I could play around with this for ages until I feel like, yeah, this makes sense. But certainly having the university closer to the road. Yeah, having like a way in from the side would make more sense. And having gardens at the front. And that way you can just reach a bit further into the town for the artisans when they get it. So we're going to have to wait for sewing machines to arrive. I wonder, could I just pull some up here quickly? We could just get some fast ship to go grab some. Is there any airship here? No? No, apparently not.
Make sail.
Where are you? Where? So far away. I'll probably leave it then. We'll just let it do its thing. Alright, let's see if I can find any other issues that we need to correct. So, the balance is trickling up from tourists. The sewing machines is gaining. Every time I look back at it, it's higher than it was before. We are delivering 150 at a time now. They're short on a few things, but that's fine on the happiness category. That's fine. Like some of these ones on the right side. On the left side, you don't want to miss any of those. But the right side doesn't really affect... I don't think that affects the core happiness. Thus, it doesn't lower the population, I think. I've never seen it be like, oh, you don't have enough docklands, so we're going to, like, less residences in the hotels. I haven't seen that ever happen.
I understand Anne Harlow's anger, but surely there are better ways to fight back than murder and plunder.
Just trying to think, where would this go? It's kind of a nice idea. I think we used to have one up here near the obvious the palace. You can have a really rich hotel living right in there, or you could have some out here. That might not be a bad idea. You could have like maybe two. Restaurant or something, or again just the waterfront or something like that, you could call it. There is room also over here, and we have to do up that zoo. So much to do. Yeah, so but for the next episode, I think I'll just focus on one of these things I've been saying I have to do, and we'll do a time lapse for it. Try to actually commit to cleaning up one of these areas. Yeah, I'm just not sure. It feels like there should be a hotel somewhere in here. Maybe it could just be moved around or placed somewhere a bit better. Well, anyway, things look like they're pretty stable. I think I'm ready to... Yeah, the artisans is changing a bit, but that should be just because of down here, right? Yeah, they're getting their sewing machines now. So that means they should have gotten like a quite a good amount dropped off, actually. Yeah, 250. They just got it straight away. Sweet. So they're done. That was fixed. And some of these are a bit short on range. God, this looks awful. So bad out there. I'll fix that definitely in the next one. Everything will be fixed in the next one. Yeah, that might kind of be it then. Alright, so with that kind of stable now, everything seems to be pretty much done. So now it's time to ruin it all again, by basically saying like we need to fill this up with a few more investors. So we'll just get this entire block here and go upgrade. And then we'll just move them over this way. They didn't really need to be moved over, but I'm just going to do that anyway. We want to maintain 10,000 engineers so that we can always research at the maximum speed. So we got to have 10,000 in reserve. That's why I don't just turn all of them into investors in the first place. So I'll just slow down time again. I'll just build this is going to be just a standard looking ugly block for a little while while we just get them out of that way, and then we can put other things in there. So I'll just try to do it a bit quicker. Let's just move these guys. And that ice rink. Yeah, I think having the ice rink as a centerpiece would be quite nice. He says as he deletes the ice rink. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention at the beginning, but I have a Discord now, specifically just for channel members and for Twitch subscribers. So for the longest time I had a Discord that was open to everybody. And for 5 years it just didn't really grow that much. Some people would come in, but then other people would leave, and because of doing reviews and having strong opinions, I don't know, it just kind of fostered a bit more of a negative community to it. So for the time being, and for the foreseeable future, I decided to make a paid-only one, just to attract the people that are already invested. Now, I really don't want people to become a channel member just for the Discord. It's more of a perk for people who already have joined. I know that's like a weird kind of delineation to say, but that's really how I view it. It's like, if you're someone who feels invested enough to become a channel member, which I highly, highly appreciate, of course you get names in the credits and things like that, and any kind of priority I can ever give you for if you're on my streams for multiplayer games or whatever. And I take comments actually that are channel members have a high priority for visibility, but I do read everything anyway. But you're more guaranteed, I guess, in case I didn't read something to get your comment read if I'm a channel member. Anyway, not trying to sell you on it, just saying that if you are one, or you're thinking of becoming one, you then will have the added perk of joining my Discord. And there's channels in there now dedicated to all the series that I have ongoing. So there's a channel called Anno.1800 underneath a category called Ongoing Series. So it's just another place that you could kind of, I don't know, share screenshots, ideas, things that you'd like to see, or just talk about how you're playing the game. But then there's also other channels to kind of get involved in as well if you wanted to. And there'll be one for Satisfactory, and there'll be one for Project Zomboid, and there'll be one for CK3 as well if I do that. So the Discord is discord.gg/WDP. And I do multiplayer every Sunday in there with those guys and girls. So I just thought I'd mention it. If you are one, a little added perk over there. Right, so we just added all that. We got a bunch of new influence from it. And we want to add, I think, a little bit more. Probably not too much more, but a little bit more. So maybe another block. It's hard to say exactly because I'm not entirely sure which ones where I plan on drawing the line with how I'm going to design this final area. Could always get rid of a few houses, but I think that'll probably be it. Let's just leave it at those 2 blocks. It's probably enough, and I'll downgrade these 2 then. Alright, and then that basically means we need to now fill the other ones with engineers again. So we'll just take this line, as I so often do, and put them back where they were. There's still no update as well with the next DLC. They apparently it's coming in late summer, which is kind of disappointing in a way because summer has technically just started. 21st of June is when summer technically starts. Oh, I just realized I don't even have workers on this island. I don't know how I'm going to get them back.
Particular sort of ruler who has to take away from their people to cover their inadequacies.
Disappointed I've increased work hours. Come on now. It's not that bad. Only a little bit as well I did. So they're going to need... I have to get workers again, so we'll just go with a market. That should be good enough for them. Alright, let's just make this daytime again. Alright, cool. Boop. Is that fine? That's fine. So we'll just wait for them to go. Just speed up time. And
This city is a magnet for genius.
we'll just move over those houses while we're waiting, growing those fresh workers slash soon-to-be artisans. Alright, one more. So yeah, that's basically it. And once these guys grow, I think they should have what they need, right? There's probably like no clothes on this island or fish, but apparently there's enough for them to grow, so hopefully that's okay. Artisan workforce is obviously just fallen because we're doing this. Man, that's going to take a while, actually. I'm on triple speed and it's still taking ages to grow. They don't have a pub, but they don't need one. They're just there to be upgraded. Anyway, so we're over 100 influence now, so we can get that town hall if we wanted to buff these guys and improve the things that go on in here. Could totally do that. Got a quest to destroy some ships. Let's do it. Oh my god.
Ship under it.
So they're way down south traveling this way. So my ships have mobilized. They're on the way now. Stay together as a unit.
Have you heard the expression?
I didn't even mean to do the quest, to be honest. But it's something to do while we wait for this to be done.
Ship under attack.
8 out of 11. Alright. No fiscal collapse or population collapse yet, so seems like my roots are holding up. So where is this ship? There we go. Now, oh yeah, I meant to address the fact that a lot of people say, like, oh, go attack Arthur. It is a hell of a slog, and I'd probably do most of it off camera. I'd probably just show, like, destroying his main island or something. But, I could do that, but I don't even think I'd claim the rest. I guess I'd let Benty take a bunch. Maybe I'd take 1 or 2. Now that we've got more influence, we could take 1 or 2, especially in the new world. So if people really want me to, I guess I could, but it's a hell of a pain in the ass to do that. While we have the influence, I could just crank out a bunch of military ships and take them down. Just like I did with, what was her name? Margaret Hunt. Alright, here we go. We'll close it in.
Ship under attack.
The speed we're coming in there with, holy crap.
Don't take enough.
Battle cruiser, there's a Pyphorian battle cruiser in the distance. Alright, that's a firm GG, I think.
Attention for the Admiral.
Oops, sorry. Alright, we got what we need. Let's just go back now. Cool, job well done. All our pirate ships. It's been so long since we did that. Alrighty, so we got our workers. They need little bits of everything else. They need a school nearby. How do they have access to a school already? Oh, there's one over here. Is there? Oh yeah, there it is. God, I thought I was going crazy there for a sec. Is that good enough for these guys? They should be. Just speed it up, make sure they have everything they need. There's a problem with sausages, it seems. Again, let's just check the warehouse, make sure they do have what they need. Yeah, oh, we've got loads. I don't know why we have everything. Probably for all the little bits of recipes and stuff we need. Because artisans don't consume fish, right? I'm surprised we have any. Alright, so that's pretty much done. The engineers are good. They're happy. Every one of these guys are happy. Don't know if I'm going to raise them up to tier 2 or anything. Could do with some of these ones. We could do that. We actually have... Let's just try that. There we go. So we've added just a bunch of skyscrapers now as well. Mini ones. Oh yeah, that might be a nice idea. I just thought maybe the ice rink and that kind of area could be adjoining between, kind of a conjunction between the artisans and the investors here, like a sort of a, they can both use it, if you know what I mean. Might look good. Kind of thought it would look better in the middle of a bunch of the houses, but who knows. I'll have to check it out. Alright, guess we're just waiting now for time to go by, upgrade these houses, and then we can put them back in, and then I promise next episode I'll do a bigger time lapse where really clean up one of these areas and like drastically improve it. But it is a bit, I'm sure this will cause some issues maybe for supply. We'll see if coffee now is going to be a bit more constrained or something, but I don't think so. I'll have a look through the statistics in between just to make sure. But yeah, in the next few episodes then it's really just going to be me like adding ornaments and going crazy, like just trying to ornamentify the whole place. I was thinking of doing the campaign because some people have asked me to in the past, and I've never done the campaign for this game, so I could do it much quicker. I wouldn't really be beautifying things as much or anything like that. Obviously, I'll just kind of play through it. Kind of curious to play through it because I never did. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments and I'll consider it, because I feel like I don't want to artificially stretch this series for no reason. But it would be nice to keep playing Anno, and that'd be a different way, or Anno 1800 anyway. That'd be a different way to do it. And I had mentioned in the previous video I did that I might consider doing 2070 or, what is it, 2207? Is that the name of the two of those? I can't remember. You know what I mean, though. Those two games. One of the other ones, basically. 1404 would be the one I would try probably first, because I've played that one before and I loved it. But then I could maybe do one of the futuristic ones. But I don't want to become an only Anno channel. I do play other games too. Right. Let's see. Can these guys upgrade now? They can. They're starting to be able to be upgraded. Yeah, so I guess this is the kind of thing I'll probably just end up doing in between episodes. So I might have to leave it there then, because I've got a time lapse in this one, so that probably seems like enough time. So basically, in between episodes, I'll upgrade all these houses, put them back in the right places, and then start doing a bit of an overhaul for how this area is going to look. I think I'll largely focus on this island for the episode as well. And then maybe in the next one, go over to this one, try to beautify that one. And then when the ornament pack comes out, we'll go down to the factory island and make this one look like awesome.
We put our love into this.
Put our love into it? What are you missing? Wheat. Well, there's a problem. Alright, we'll fix that as well. Alrighty, that's going to have to be it for this episode. A bit of a chaotic one, a lot of just messaging. I wanted to just talk to people a little bit, so it was good to be able to just have the game sort of in the background for this one. But hopefully people are happy enough about the changes, and as I joked before, if you're a fan of this channel and you didn't really watch the review channel, you won. This one has done, I want to say 6, 7, maybe 8 times better if we're just strictly talking revenue, because the thing is, these are longer videos than my reviews. So a 10-minute review versus an hour let's play, you've got like 6 more. It's basically like 6 times longer, right? So you basically get way more out of it. Not to boil everything down just to revenue, but as a full-time creator, you know, have to look at those things eventually at some point. But because of that, this channel is just so wildly successful in comparison. It's like, oh man, what if I was to only focus this and put like a ton of time into this channel? So that's what I'm going to try and do, and hopefully give the people what they want. And also just try to play games that I really want to try out as well. So Satisfactory, I don't know how it's going to go, if people are going to like it, but I really like the game. And it's a really, really good game if you haven't played it. Don't know how it's going to be for watching, though. That's my biggest fear, but we'll see. I'll try to make it as interesting as possible. So I'll be starting a series in that probably the day after, or a couple days after this episode comes out. So hopefully people at least give it a shot, check it out, just the first episode, see if you like it. And if not, no big deal. Alright, that's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much to channel members sticking with me when I didn't upload for an entire month. I feel like I don't deserve it, so do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.